Okay, recess is over. Okay.
It's weird being down that side. I've never sat down.
Okay, have we already done, have you already reported on these two?
68, we're on 68.
Right,
No,
but 87,
because
we
haven't
need
gone
to
into
do
the-
that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I got that right here.
so. Okay, closed session. Okay. We're ready to go here. Are we 4? 1, 2, 3. Yes, we are 5. For possible action, any items from the morning session that
Just a reminder, we need a motion to reopen.
open. Councilwoman, Mayor Pro Tem, bring us back.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, I make a motion to bring us back into session.
Thank you. There's a motion to reconvene. Please vote and please post. Why didn't that go through? Okay, motion carries. So now we'll move on to 68. For possible action, any items from the morning session that the council staff and/or applicant wish to be stricken, tabled, withdrawn, held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Please, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Item 87 through 89, Zone 76475, SUP 76476, and SDR 76477 is in abeyance to September 4th, requested by the applicant. Item number 90, VAR 76400, applicant owner Aldiganda Doran Mendoza on .70 acres at 1400 Comstock Drive, is in abeyance till September 18th, requested by Councilman Creer. And that will be my motion, Mayor.
Thank you. There's a motion. Please vote and please post. And that motion carries. So now we will move on to agenda item 69. Item 69 is on the consent agenda, is considered to be routine and recommended for approval by the Department of Planning. Mayor Pro Tem, may I have a motion to approve consent agenda item number 69?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to approve agenda item 69.
Thank you. There's a motion. Please vote. And please post. And that motion carries. We'll move on to agenda item 70. Item number 70 through 72 may be considered in one motion, one vote. They're considered routine, non-public, public hearing items with no condition changes. Any person representing an application or a member of the public or a member of the council not in agreement with the conditions and all standard conditions for the application recommended by staff should request to have that item removed from this portion of the agenda. So at this point, I'm just going to read right through them. Number 70, VAC 76391, applicant owner Victory Missionary Baptist Church on a request for a petition to vacate a 20-foot wide alley between East Street and F Street, south of Jackson Avenue, Ward 5, Councilman Creer. Number 71, VAC 76442, applicant owner, the Howard Hughes Company, LLC, a request for a petition to vacate public right-of-way, generally located on Crossbridge Drive west of Sun Creek Drive, Ward 2, with Councilwoman Seaman. Agenda item 72, SNC 76185, applicant owner Richmond American Homes in Nevada, Inc., on a request for a street name change from Albatross Links Avenue to Sky Bluff Court, generally located west of Crossbridge Drive, south of Sun Creek Drive, Ward 2, Councilwoman Seaman. Planning Commission and staff recommend approval on all items which are public hearing items that I declare open. Is there anyone wishing to be heard on items 70 through 72? Seeing none, I'll close public hearing. Mayor Pro Tem, may I have a motion for the one motion, one vote, items 70 through 72, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to approve one motion, one vote portion of the agenda.
Thank you. Please vote on the motion and post. Whoops. And please post, and motions carry. Thank you very much. For the next item, I'm going to turn over the meeting to Mayor Pro Tem because it pertains to a marijuana-related business, and I'll be abstaining since one of my sons in the industry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. SUP 75722, it's a public hearing. Applicant CW Nevada owner, L. Chaim 24 Fremont Properties LLC for possible action on a request for a special use permit for a proposed 3,600 square foot marijuana dispensary use in a portion of 2424 South Las Vegas Boulevard, C2 General Commercial Zone, Ward 3, Councilwoman Diaz. The Planning Commission, 4-0 vote, and staff recommends approval. This is a public hearing, and I declare it open. However, because this item, we presented it, I would like to, if you've already spoken, we'll put that in the record from our last council meeting, but if you haven't spoken and you would like to come up and be heard to put it in the public record, I'll allot you a minute. Do we have anyone that would like to speak? Mr. Summerfield. Seeing none, I'll close public hearing. Mr. Summerfield.
Lowenstein.
Oh, sorry, I have my glasses on. Mr. Peter Lowenstein.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. The subject site complies with all the minimum distance requirements as set forth in Title 1912, and therefore can be conducted in a compatible and harmonious manner with the surrounding existing uses located in the shopping center. As such, staff recommends approval of the proposed use subject to the conditions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lowenstein. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over to Councilwoman Diaz.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. This item has generally been one of the most difficult decisions, although I've only been on the City Council a month. It has been very tasking to kind of find where I wanted to be on this item. So I have listened intently to everyone that's had concerns. I've had numerous trips that I've made out to the area, and I've also held multiple meetings with different parties involved in this. And I've tried very hard to balance the rights and desires of the business owner against those of the neighbors and the businesses in the area. I'm convinced that both parties have the city's best interests at heart and are truly dedicated to the same things we all are as Las Vegans, creating a great experience for visitors and residents. I'm extremely glad to see a business owner wanting to come into Ward 3, brighten up that part of our community that could use much needed attention. And when I ran for office, I was determined to do more for our small business owners and help them be successful. We have processes in place, and to my knowledge, all those processes have been followed. I'm certainly aware the Nevada legislature changed the distance requirements for these businesses, and that will go into effect in November. As you know, well, I've served in the legislature, and I admire and respect that process. However, I wasn't there to listen to much of the testimony, and I'm not really fully aware of all the motivations behind the changes. All I know is that I'm here today being called upon to make a tough...
Councilwoman Diaz,
Yes.
I apologize. Before you make your motion, I just need the applicant to come up just to make sure.
Okay.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. George Garcia, 1055 Whitney Ryans Drive, Suite 210. Pleasure to be before you.
Page Betty, 2700 Las Vegas Boulevard South, Unit
Thank you.
2709.
Thank you. Councilwoman Diaz.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Now I'm like, where was I? So all I know is I'm here today being called to make a very difficult decision, a very tough decision that will have a direct impact on the daily lives of Ward 3 residents. I campaigned on diversifying the downtown area to bring more small businesses to the community, and that is something I intend to remain focused on and passionate about. My other goal is to work with Sheriff Lombardo and Metro and have a greater joint effort in patrolling areas and detouring our criminal activity. I'm willing to listen to any ideas, traditional and non-traditional, to fix problems and concerns around public safety, and that is why I'm so open to hear every option that comes before me in my office. One of my main concerns, though, is the clustering effect of having too many dispensaries in one area. Until the state approves the opening of social lounges, the reality is that these dispensaries are similar to liquor stores, places where people can buy their products to use them in their homes since they can't legally use them anywhere else. There may be some places in the city where this occurs, but I don't think anyone would think we were acting as good stewards of public safety if we approve 3 liquor stores within a couple of 100 feet of each other. When marijuana was first approved for medical use, there was a conscious effort made to make sure the locations were diverse so they could serve the needs of everyone in our community. Since recreational marijuana sales have only been approved for those who already had a medical dispensary license, not much thought was made as to their locations. Now, none of us know what is going to happen with the new recreational licenses that the state recently awarded, whether they will ever actually become dispensaries, but I would hate not to think about long-term smart planning and see a majority of those dispensaries placed too close to one another. And then, of course, there's the legislation recently passed, which I spoke about earlier, going into effect in November. I realize it doesn't go into effect until then, but we know it will be the law of the land at that time. Do we give this one business owner and others that might try and move before the law is active a privilege that won't be available to anyone else after November? Do we kind of ignore what is the clear intent of the legislature just because it won't be officially effective for 2 months? Again, being a former legislator, that weighs heavily on my mind. One argument I analyzed was the intent of the voters. Voters voted to allow marijuana for recreational use. They weren't considering land use decisions or where these dispensaries would go. That is for local governments to decide within the boundaries of the laws we must follow. I'm left with a difficult decision between a business owner who has followed the law as he knew it and the needs, desires, and wishes of the greater community, and it is no easy call. I guess what it comes down to me, or what it comes down to for me after careful deliberation, discussion, and consideration is, will allowing this business at this location be a benefit to this area? Is it going to help in our redevelopment efforts? Is it going to bring something to the area that isn't currently there or provide a service that Ward 3 residents are in dire need for? With 2 other dispensaries within close proximity of this location, the answer to these questions is likely not. I'm always going to be a tremendous supporter of small businesses. I'm going to be a champion for them and create opportunities for them to thrive. But I think that there must be a delicate balance that I'm considering, especially thinking about the greater needs of a greater community and by what we need to do to help further the direction Las Vegas is going. And in the end, I just don't think this move is the right fit for my ward. It doesn't diversify the part of the city other than, there could be some cosmetic improvements. It won't greatly enhance the area for the residents and the tourists, and it won't be something that we can use and build upon to really make the surrounding neighborhood that much different. If anything, there are still too many unknowns. And for these reasons, Mayor Pro Tem, I just can't recommend approval of this application. I hope my colleagues will support me in my decision.
I would like to bring the applicants up and ask you if you want to say a few words.
I'd just like to reiterate, I think, some of the points that we touched on before, just briefly. First off, when the voters made this vote, I guess we would respectfully indicate that that was basically to tell the legislature they can't act. In fact, they were prohibited from taking action to restrict it. And they didn't envision that it was a restriction on land use or anything else. When the city took on the rules in the very first place, at no point did the city ever say concentration, clustering, or anything else. Those discussions were held, and there was never a policy, there was never incorporated into the rules of the city. So now the city, perhaps, depending on what the council decides, would enact a regulation by virtue of this decision that was never contemplated in the first place by the voters, by the legislature, or in the rules as they were promulgated by the city. That's why the Planning Commission and staff recommended approval. We also think that there would be sufficient benefits to the neighborhood. We've seen that with the petitions we turned in, the investment that the landowner would make in enhancing the shopping center. We've sat down and showed how that investment would occur. And this is not a typical location when we look at it and say, hey, there's dispensaries across the street, there's no benefit. We show specific benefits to this property at the gateway that it would be promulgated by the applicant and the landowner. We also show that as a result of what we would do, it would benefit the surrounding area. And look at the volume of traffic here in terms of customers that are available. This is not like a suburban dispensary where 3 people can't compete. We see on the Strip multiple locations where there is plenty of available traffic, whether both vehicles and pedestrians, tourists and locals, businesses, owners, and their employees. There's plenty of ample traffic to support all of them, make it conveniently and readily available. We've also offered to assist the Metro Foundation and Metro with developing a pilot program for enforcement to deal with off-premises. So when we talk about liquor being a regulated industry, we're regulated and we'd be doing it legally, but off-premises what occurs sometimes can be a problem. So to assist in creating that pilot program to help regulate it. We've offered to produce a clinic that would go into the neighborhood to assist in providing services to the residents of that area that sorely could use some of those services. So I think we've offered plenty of things that would be a benefit, and I respectfully understand the councilwoman's concerns, but we certainly disagree, and we would ask you to support staff and the Planning Commission. Pej, I don't know if you have anything you'd like to add.
I understand this is a difficult decision. We've talked about this. We've lobbied you hard. I know other groups have lobbied you hard. And I said this last time.
Can I have your name for the record? I apologize.
I'm sorry?
Can I have your name for the record?
Paige Betty. And I think I know the pressures of lobbying, especially big casinos. I realize that. I think, but our era is changing. People, women, other industries need to have an opportunity to grow and become bigger. Cannabis is a new industry that the voters voted for. So I realize it's a difficult decision, but I just hope that just people do the right thing.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I appreciate both of your comments. However, I did go to the area on multiple occasions, and I stand by my downtown area command, who is already highly strapped in terms of manpower and things they have to be lending their attention to. And I need to be cognizant, and I have to be a responsible city council person that is thinking about the entire ward. And it's still not clear. There's so much that's happening right now around this industry that we don't know where we're going to be in just a couple of months. And I really haven't seen the practice of parting licenses too, so that's playing out in the back of my head as well. I'm not sure, I haven't seen that with anybody else. So I'll go ahead and let Mr. Adams, Scott, I'm sorry. I always get your name backwards. Mr. Scott chime in too.
Mayor Pro Tem, just a couple comments with what Mr. Garcia was indicating. By its very nature, when an item or a use requires a special use permit, that means that that particular use has an adverse effect on the surrounding development. That's why you're able to put conditions on it such that to make it so that it's palatable to the surrounding neighborhood. So you are within your right if you believe there's a clustering happening within that particular area. You said that you're not focusing on the proposed distance separation that's going to happen later in November, but you're focusing in on the clustering aspect of it. You'd like to see them kind of spread apart and not clustered together. We're not enforcing a distance separation between that use and a casino. And again, by its very nature, a special use permit is something that you're able to place any conditions you'd like or not grant if you don't believe that it's harmoniously compatible. And in this instance, you don't believe it to be so.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. And so, Mayor Pro Tem, if you are ready, we can make the motion. I move to deny item number 73.
Your motion passes.
Mayor, Council, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to agenda items 74, 75, and 76. VAR 76335, and a request for a variance to allow a 0-foot side yard setback where 10 feet is required. Number 75, VAR 76336, and a request for a variance to allow 30 parking spaces where 32 spaces are required. Pardon, and 76, SDR 76337, on a request for a site development plan review for a proposed 871 square foot addition to an existing building with a waiver to allow a 0-foot landscape buffer along north perimeter where 15 feet is required and a 0-foot landscape buffer along the east perimeter where 8 feet is required. The applicant owner is Patron Investments or Patron Investments LLC on .39 acres at 1618 and 1622 East Charleston Boulevard, C1, limited commercial zone. On all items, Planning Commission recommends approval and staff recommends denial. These are in Ward 3 with Councilwoman Diaz and are public hearing items which I declare open. Is the applicant or representative present? Thank you, and if you'll tell us your name, and if it's difficult, then please spell it first.
My name is Senjo Diaz. I represent Patron Investments. We're just going to try to put a new restaurant there. So it looks beautiful, more the street. The place is located there. There's a lot of homeless there, so we just try to put a little more, looks very nice more on the street. That's what we try to do.
Wonderful. Are you serving a restaurant, any particular flavor to it?
No, it's
Is
going to
it
be a
just-
Mexican restaurant.
Okay, and how many does that, is it more of a table seating or
Yeah,
takeout?
I need the space because we need more tables. There's not enough space. The way that we got the restaurant, the way that we figured it out, that's when we need the space there. We already got a restaurant like 2 blocks over there, but we just tried to make a new one, our own building, so that's what we try to do with the space.
Okay, wonderful. Mr. Lowenstein.
Thank you, Mayor. Our Senior Management Analyst, Eric McCammon, will be doing the presentation. Thank you.
Please. And you have to say your name again clearly, so Mr. Lowenstein's not you.
Madam Mayor, Eric McCammond from Case Planning. The proposed development does not meet Title 19 setback, parking, and landscape buffer requirements. No evidence of a unique or extraordinary circumstance has been presented, and staff concludes that the site is being overbuilt as evidenced by the associated variance requests. As the applicant's hardships are preferential in nature, staff therefore recommends denial of all applications. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to make comment on this agenda? Or these items, I should say. I'm sure there must be questions coming from council, but let's turn it over to Councilwoman Diaz and let her decide where we're headed.
Thank you.
And what was the building originally? Is it a restaurant?
No, currently it's a former Carefree footwear store that's been closed for quite a bit. I don't know how many years it's not been operational, but I know they've owned it.
Maybe like 5 years.
Yeah, they've owned it for 2, and then it had been out of business for several years before. So I have been looking at pictures of it, and we know that vacant property breeds problems. It means people are going to be using it, trying to get into it, as we dealt with Crazy Horse 2 earlier today. And so anytime someone buys property and wants to establish business in it, I'm all about it. And Angel didn't mention the business, but it's Tacos El Gordo that is down the street off of Bruce in Charleston, and they're looking to relocate into this new facility that would be owned now by the owner. They're currently leasing that space. They want to come in and be hopefully a great partner. I've talked to him about how important landscaping is to us, making sure we're making the east side look really great. And so we've planted a lot of seeds about making sure the face front of the store is the best we can make it. So I'm feeling excited about actually getting that space up and operational, but I'll see what my colleagues, if they have any concerns that they want to ask Mr. Diaz about. And we're not related, by the way. I just want to clarify, his name is Angel Diaz, and he is of no relation to me.
Well, I'd like to hear from Mr. Lowenstein. Were you at the Planning Commission, and could you talk to obviously they voted unanimously to approve, so I know ours are code comments usually, but
Madam Mayor, I actually was not at the Planning Commission during this particular item. Director Summerfield was, but as you know, he's on paternity leave right now, but Eric was also present at that meeting, so
good.
I'll see if he has a recollection of the Planning Commission's motion.
Madam Mayor, I seem to recall that the discussion was much like Councilwoman Diaz said. I think they'd just be happy to see a business up and running in that location, so.
wonderful,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Anybody else, any council, any comments, questions? No, we're all for well-organized, proper growth and making it more beautiful and fixing, so wonderful. Okay, please. We'll do them one at a time.
Okay, so I would move to approve item number 74.
Great, there's a motion to approve agenda item 74. Please vote. And please post. Motion carries. 75.
I move to approve item number 75.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve agenda item 75. Please vote. And please post. I'm having trouble. The little blue thing keeps saying yay, and I'm yay. There it goes. And that motion carries. And agenda item 76.
Thank you so much.
Wait, one more.
Oh, wait. I move to approve item number 76.
Great. Okay,
more.
there's a motion to approve agenda item 76. Please vote and please post. Good luck.
Thank you.
When are you going to get it open?
Maybe in 3 months. Any time do you guys want to go over there?
We will. And you're open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Yeah, that's fine.
And what's it can be called? What are you going to call it?
Tacos El Gordo.
That'll do.
Same.
Okay, good. Thanks. 3 months. Hold his feet to the fire on that. Wow. Let us know. Okay, so now we're on to agenda item 77. VAR 76222, public hearing, applicant owner RRA Holdings LLC, possible action request for a variance to allow 2 proposed 9-square-foot wall signs where 1 2-foot wall sign is allowed on 2.03 acres at 1876 South Buffalo, RE Residence Estates Zone, and it's Ward 1 with Councilman Knutson. Planning Commission and staff are together on this and recommend approval. We love that. This is a public hearing, and I declare it open. Is the applicant or representative present? Please come forward and state your name for the record, and then you can go right ahead with your presentation.
Josh Hunter, 1512 Shadow Haven Lane.
Do you want to speak very closely to the
Josh
mic?
Hunter, 1512 Shadow Haven Lane, representing the client on this one. I spoke with Councilman Knutson on the issue. I don't really have much to say as far as the presentation. You can see what it is. It's just 2 3-foot tall wall signs that are internally illuminated to kind of square up the entrance and make it nice for the guests to walk through. And I mean, there's not much there, so I don't have much to say. I'm here for questions if you have any.
So cross streets are Buffalo and Oakey?
Yep.
Corner? Buffalo
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Oakey. That's past Rainbow, okay.
Kind of show you.
I guess it's not showing. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to address agenda item 77? I'll close the public hearing. Are you going to be the real Racket Academy?
Well, they are, yes.
Okay.
So it's kind of a, it's on a little,
Racquetball?
well, it's kind of like pickleball, but they use tennis balls and
There's
it's.
nothing like pickleball.
I know, okay. It's not as good as pickleball, I'm sorry.
Oh, see, there you
They're trying
are.
to copy it. But they use real
Great.
tennis balls, and it's kind of a fun little activity
Cute.
center there in a neighborhood, the residential area. I mean, I don't think,
Restaurant inside?
there's just a little,
Bar, snack?
yeah, like a juice bar inside, and just places
And
to
going
sit.
for a liquor license, or no?
I don't think so. I'm not part of that. I'm representing the sign company portion of it, so
Okay.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, but
on-
your signs are very valuable, so. Okay, Councilman, yours.
Mayor, thank you, and Mr. Hunter, thanks for waiting for 7 hours to have an approval of 2 small little signs on the building. I obeyed this, again, on my first meeting. I feel badly about that. I had a couple of complaints from neighbors, but I've driven the area multiple times. I think your signs will be a lovely addition, and I'm very grateful for your design work and for your patience in waiting for this moment. With that, I would move for approval.
Excellent.
Okay, there's a motion to approve agenda item 77 for this gentleman who's grown a beard and gone gray waiting. So please vote and please post. But it was worth it.
It was.
And you
Thank you.
advertise your sign company, you get a lot of benefit waiting, so it's fun. So, and you learn something, I'm sure,
Absolutely,
today
yes.
watching. So anyway, the motion carries. Good luck and thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for your time.
Okay. So now, we did 78 and 79, and so now we're on agenda item 80, GPA 75668, on a request for a general plan amendment from PCD Plan Community Development to SC Service Commercial, number 81 ZON 75669, a request for rezoning from RE Residence Estates C1 Limited Commercial. The applicant owner is Zion Loving Gear on 1.50 acres at 8311 Farm Road on both items. Staff recommends denial. Planning Commission recommends approval. These are in Ward 6 with Mayor Pro Tem Fiore, our public hearing items, which I declare open. Is the applicant or representative present?
Yes, Mayor, Nathan Taylor, 8414 West Farm Road, representing the applicant.
Wonderful. Ooh, it nice. Is that grass or artificial turf?
It's grass.
Beautiful. I don't know how you kept it so green. Okay, and any presentation? Do you want to show us and do and go for it?
Yes, I have about a 20-minute speech, Mayor. No, just kidding. So I just want to orientate you all first
Give him
with...
30 seconds, please.
Am I
No,
done?
go ahead. No.
So just want to orientate you with the area. This is in fabulous Ward 6. I'd like to thank Mayor Pro Tem and her staff for working with us over the last 6 months on this. I think it's been about that long, and working through some of the matters that we had getting to this point. This is actually a very commercial area in Ward 6. If you look on this map, I won't go over everything that's on here. This kind of shows you that, we've got an Albertsons over here. There's a daycare center here, and it's pretty commercial. That's why I wanted to point out on the map. And then I just wanted to go through kind of the history of this property. So my brief presentation is just over kind of some history. My clients purchased this property almost a year ago, and at that time, the property was really in distress. It was boarded up, it had squatters living there, there were fires set on the property, the landscaping was overgrown, among many other attractive nuisances. And I live in the area, so I used to drive past here every single day. As you can see from the monitor, I think Jeff had put up on there a picture of what they have done to the property since they purchased it. They've invested over $1 million into the property, doing renovations, keeping in mind, this is a 1.5 acre property, and the actual structure is over 5,000 square feet. During the fall of last year, my clients wanted to find a way to share this property with others, and so they applied. I wasn't the representative at the time, but they applied for a short-term rental permit. It was approved, and they began renting the property earlier this year. To say that there were challenges as a result of operating the property as a short-term rental wouldn't adequately convey that matter. There were tenants that deceived my clients related to their planned activity on the property, issues like the number of people on the premise, noise outside after hours, and events being held without approval. In addition, my clients were not aware that the tenants were prohibited from holding small weddings or birthday parties on the property. Once this was brought to their attention and then to my attention, my clients voluntarily relinquished their short-term rental permit. They gave it back to the city to stop all the problems they were having with the short-term rental. Realizing that the better use for the property would be to utilize it as a banquet facility instead of an STR. In order to operate as a banquet facility, we are required to apply for this GPA and the zoning change. It's worth noting that this request is similar to another banquet facility just a few hundred yards down the road called The Grove. That's where I got married. So it's also a banquet facility that is surrounded somewhat by single-family residential. And with that said, I'm here to answer any questions. Just respect that you ask that you follow Planning Commission's recommendation for approval.
I remember when Farm Road was just being constructed and went into a couple of those new homes, phenomenal that were out there. The Lantern,
Yes.
oh, to die for. Ballpark over here, let's hear what's happened with the planning and city.
Madam Mayor, Eric McCammon, Case Planning. The proposed general plan amendment and rezoning combination is intended to provide for retail shopping and personal services. Commercial properties should be located on the periphery of residential neighborhoods and should be confined to the intersections of primary and secondary thoroughfares along major retail corridors. The subject site is not part of the retail corridor found west of Tule Springs Road, nor is it at the intersection of thoroughfares. The proposed general plan amendment and rezoning would create a commercial parcel almost entirely surrounded by single-family residences, and as such, staff recommends denial of the request. At this time, I will hand the presentation over to Deputy Planning Director Mary McElhone for additional information pertaining to the subject site. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please,
Thank you.
Ms. Madelon.
For the record, Mary McElhone. As Nathan Taylor, the consultant, did state, this location was originally licensed as a short-term rental, and that short-term rental license was surrendered on April 25th of 2019 in pursuit of the ability to turn the location into a banquet or event facility. So from March 30th, 2019 through June 8th, 2019, there were multiple noise complaints received by business licensing and code enforcement. However, since June 8th, at that time, there have been no complaints received. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to make comment on either number 80 or 81? Please say your name, and if you'd take off your hat. I'd appreciate, that's all right. It looks just fine. You're on television.
Yeah, I know.
So you got to show the best
Glad I did
side.
my hair today.
Thank you.
My name is Andrew Parker. I live at 8321 Fort Sedgwick Avenue. It is this property right here on the map. So I literally live right behind the Lotus House, the property, and I have experienced those noise complaints in the past, but I think with the transition to the commercial property, with them having real business hours, with them actually having some real control there, it would absolutely be a benefit to the neighborhood. I know that it's not per I guess the law or whatever on the thoroughfare, but with it sitting right next to a daycare, I don't think that we'd have much more noise than a dozen kids playing outside. And yeah, having lived here for the last 10 years, I think the commercial development in the area is very good, and can, like I said, only see a benefit long-term to having this property become a wedding venue, banquet venue, right? Who doesn't want to look out their front door and see people getting married?
Wonderful. A happy time. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. And yes, sir?
Hello, my name.
No, wait for, there you go.
Hello, my name is Brian Horner, 10215 Radcliffe Peak Avenue. I'm actually the owner of Kingdom Homes. I had the pleasure of renovating this home, and I just want to give you kind of an idea of the state of the home when we took possession of it. When we first went in there, it was complete trashed. There was used needles, human feces, used condoms. It was just a nightmare to where we actually had to hire a third-party hazmat team to come in and clear this house out. being a father of three, living really close in the area, I do have a lot of pride in this remodel because we're giving something back to the community, and I fully endorse the zoning change, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir, hi.
I'm Deloy Blanchard. I live at 8092 Black Orchid Avenue. I'm in the neighborhood right across the street from this house. We've lived there for about 5 years. I second what these gentlemen have said about the status of the house when we first moved there. It was boarded up. It was an eyesore. It's beautiful now. I'm also a bishop in our local congregation, a church just down the street behind the property. So we're active in this community. My kids go to the school just down the street from there. This is a beautiful property. I'd also point out two other things. Although there are neighborhoods behind the property, if you'll notice, this is a planned community here that's separated from this property by a cinder block wall. So it's not really within the neighborhood. It's separate from that. And in fact, these two buildings right here are the only properties that actually face Farm Road, which at the time they were built was a small road, but now it's a very busy two-lane road going both directions with a middle turn lane. And so it really isn't suited for residential property any longer. And that's why I think it sat vacant for so many years, because no one wants to live on a busy street like that. So I'm in favor of the zoning change.
Wonderful, thank you. Appreciate the positive commentary here. Anyone else on public hearing? So I'll close public hearing. And do you want to make any further comments?
No, Mayor.
You're good. Well, you get positives. How could you want to mess that up? Anything from council? Okay, lucky you. Mayor Pro Tem, back to you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have to echo everything that the three gentlemen has spoken about. When I first got elected to this, that was a problemed house with Metro going there, with high schoolers breaking in. We had a lot of problems with that parcel. And I have to tell you, we were kind of scared for Mr. Lincoln, your client, when he gave up his STR because he wasn't going to get it back, right? So, because we changed the ordinance here. So it's with great pleasure to make a motion to approve this, and I think this will be a lot more suitable because there's a stop time, just like your neighbor said. So
on
with that,
agenda item 80?
On agenda item 80, I motion to approve.
Thank you very much. There's a motion to approve 80. Please vote and please post. And on 81, Madam Pro Tem?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For agenda item 81, I motion to approve.
Great. There's another motion to approve agenda item 81. Please vote. And I'm trying. There it is. And Councilman? Okay, and that motion carries. Wonderful. Good luck. Good luck, good luck.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. I'd just like to say I want to welcome, this is my first time being before the new city council with Councilman Seaman, Councilman Knutson, and Councilman Diaz. I want to welcome you guys to the city. Glad to have you.
Very
Thank
nice.
you, guys.
Good job. Okay, agenda items 82, 83, 84. 82, ZON 76236, on a request for rezoning from PR Professional Office and Parking to C1 Limited Commercial. Number 83, SUP 76310, request for special use permit for proposed mini storage facility use. Number 84, SDR 76250, and a request for site development plan review for proposed three-story 292-unit mini storage facility consisting of two buildings for a total of 57,900 square feet, with waivers to allow a 0-foot landscape buffer adjacent to the north and south property lines and a 0-foot landscape buffer adjacent to portions of the east property line where 8 feet is required. The applicant is Wheeler or Arville Mini Storage. The owner is Stephanie Evans et al. On 1.04 acres at 1333 Arville Street, PR Professional Office and Parking Zone. Proposed C1 Limited Commercial. On all items, Planning Commission and staff recommend approval. These are in Ward 1 with Councilman Knutson. And public hearing opens with public hearings, which I declare open. And is the applicant or representative present?
I am here. Good afternoon, Your Honor, council members. My name is Tony Sless, address 1980 Festival Plaza Drive, here on behalf of the property owner and applicant. As you can see from the aerial, our site is located on Arville, just south of Charleston, directly across from a Walmart shopping center, some areas through here that are various businesses, a medical, like lab-type business, a parcel right here that actually was just recently Zone C1 last meeting, another parcel Zone C1, and directly to the east of us, right here is the Chabad Jewish Temple and School. Here is our zoning map right here. You can see, again, the site. Right here, we're Zone PR. We're asking to go to the C1 zoning designation. You can see we have C1 across the street, C1 immediately to the south. This is the parcel at last council meeting that was approved to go to C1. As such, we think a C1 zoning is compatible with the area and does comply with your master plan. We appreciate staff's support for that. We are proposing a mini storage facility on this site that does require a special use permit. We believe that it is compatible with the area. It will provide a great transition piece, basically from the residential farther to the south, the existing commercial, as well as a nice buffer to the Chabad Jewish Temple and School. We did work with the Rabbi Harlick, regarding this application. As you can see on our site plan right here, it's noted that we are having 8-foot tall CMU walls around it. That was at the request of the rabbi. Also in working with staff and the temple, and noted in the staff report, we actually pushed our buildings farther back. We're able to remove a variance, comply completely with the code with respect to that, and one of the reasons why staff is now recommending approval of both the special use permit and our SDR. You can see right here there are some minor things that we are asking deviations for. That is with respect to landscaping along the eastern portion. We're not leaving it completely devoid. We are providing, can see pockets of large landscaping through there. We're asking for that deviation so that we can meet the parking there, as well as some fire circulation through there. So we appreciate staff's support of that. Two final points I'd like to make in working with the councilman's office, and again with our neighbor directly to the east, the Chabad Temple. We'd like to add 2 additional conditions. We've worked with staff, and I think I know staff will read those in. We have reviewed them. They're acceptable, and we agree with them. One of them is with respect to the SDR. Condition 5 already requires us to build an 8-foot tall wall, which we are going to do. In addition to that, on the internal side of our property on the wall, we're going to put kind of candy cane style wrought iron to help further discourage anyone jumping the walls, provided added security. And then the second one, I believe, will be added to our special use permit, and that is for us to provide a security plan to the departments so that we, again, can make sure we facilitate 24-hour security and surveillance on the site. With that, we appreciate staff's recommendation and Planning Commission's recommendation, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Are the units air-conditioned, and are they alarmed?
They are, yes, so they are 3 stories. They are air-conditioned. You can see they're 3 stories. The first level, we do have some garage style or bay style. They are internal to site. You cannot see them from the right-of-way. We have then 2 additional stories on top of that, all internally accessed via elevator or stairwells, and yes, climate controlled. And we're going to have 24-hour surveillance as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Lowenstein?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
The subject segment of Arville Street has over time transitioned from residential uses to office and commercial uses. The proposed rezoning would follow this trend towards more commercial applications and be compatible with the existing developments along Arville Street. The proposed mini storage facility meets all Title 19 requirements except for landscape buffers along a portion of the site's perimeter and landscape materials within the parking lot and adjacent to the east property line. Despite the waiver and exceptions, the development incorporates additional planters and a screen wall to buffer the facility and parking lot from neighboring properties and the right-of-way. Therefore, staff recommends approval of all applications. If approved, staff would like to add a condition to the special use permit and amend a condition on the site development plan review. And if you want, I can do that now or when the motion.
Well, why don't you go ahead, because then he can approve it, so it can all then pass to Councilman intact.
Thank you. The proposed added condition to SUP 76310 would read as follows. A security plan shall be submitted and approved by the Department of Planning Business License Division prior to the issuance of business license to address security concerns related to habitation of storage units. And the proposed amended condition, condition number 5 of SDR 76250, the additional sentence would read, wrought iron picket fencing in a candy cane shape to deter individuals from leaping the wall from inside the site shall be installed on the inside of the wall so as not to increase the overall wall height.
And
Thank
to
you.
which you agree?
And again, for the record, we agree with both of those conditions.
Okay, thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to be heard on 82, 83, 84? Closed public hearing, and any comments from council? 'Tis yours, channel.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Lowenstein and Mr. Celeste. I just want to recap our conversation. I was texting with the rabbi of the Chabad there, and I've toured that Chabad and the school and have been in that area many times. I know he's not super excited, nor is the congregation, about the project, but I do think it's consistent with that area. And what we talked about was ensuring at all costs the security of the Chabad as well as that school. And so I think the security plan, as it's submitted with the special use permit for the business license, I think will be an important component for me to review before they become operational. And I want to make a comment on the condition. It wasn't only about habitation, it's about the use of that facility as it pertains to the safety of the Chabad, for anybody who would look at that space in a negative way, specifically because of the children and the sensitive nature of that community. So the security is my utmost concern. Without further ado, I think it's a good project, and I'm thankful. I don't mind making you wait and sit for 7 hours because you dress nicer than I do. So I appreciate it, and I would move for approval.
On agenda item 82?
Item number 82.
Fine, there's a motion to approve agenda item 82. Your
Madam Mayor, with the
Councilman.
added condition.
With the added conditions of Mr. Lowenstein.
Thank you. There's a motion, please vote. Councilman as well. Good job. And
I'm
that
sorry,
motion-
Mayor. Can the clerk's office clarify, there wasn't an added condition on the zoning, was there, Peter?
My mistake, yes. Is it only on the use permit is an added condition, and on the site development review is an amended condition. Thank you.
See, isn't it good that we have such a good clerk? I've got the lawyers following up on us, you've got the clerk following on you. Good team effort here. Thank you very much. And that motion carried. Let's go on to agenda item 83, please.
Move for approval on item number 83.
Okay, there's a motion to approve agenda item 83. Please vote, and
With the
please-
conditions as identified by Mr. Lowenstein.
Subject to all conditions, 83, and please post. And that motion carries. And finally, agenda item 84.
And move for approval again with the conditions as indicated in the comments.
Thank you. There's a motion on agenda item 84 for approval, subject to all conditions. Please vote, and please post. Good job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate your time.
Thanks.
And your face turned red, Mr. Tony.
Okay, agenda item 85, ZON 76110, request for rezoning from PR professional office parking to C1 limited commercial, and number 86, WVR 76111, a request for a waiver to allow a 4-foot side yard setback where 10 feet is required. The applicant owner is Alberto E. and Mauricia G. Achaval, PR, professional office and parking to C1 limited commercial on .45 acres at 820, 826, 830 East Charleston Boulevard. Both items, Planning Commission and staff recommend approval. These are in Ward 3 with Councilwoman Diaz, and our public hearings, which I declare open, is the applicant's
Hi,
representative.
Doug Rankin, on behalf of the applicant, 1055 Whitney Ranch, Henderson, Nevada. And I don't mind sitting at all. I've done this for years.
You've been here for years.
The zone change is in conformance to the land use of C commercial. It also furthers the 2045 Vision Downtown Master Plan and the Founders District. The waiver is minor in nature. We're not making any changes to the site. We're simply rezoning to C1 in order to offer the additional spaces here to other tenants. The applicant, Dr. Archibald, occupies this site here with his chiropractic care, and he's looking to lease these other spaces and have more opportunities. I'm here to answer any questions. Do you have anything? That concludes my presentation.
Okay. Eric, you're on stage.
Madam Mayor, staff supports the rezoning and waiver applications as these requests support the goals of the redevelopment plan and the Vision 2045 Downtown Master Plan to redevelop and revitalize the area through the rehabilitation of existing architecture while intensifying the commercial uses adjacent to Charleston Boulevard. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on number 85 or number 86? I will close the public hearing. Any comments from council? Well, guess who's on board again? Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And interesting fact is, I believe these sites have been there since 1938 or rehabilitated then in 1992, right?
That is correct, yes.
So I think this is an exciting opportunity for some small businesses to come into Ward 3 and diversify a little bit of what's happening in the ward. So I'm all on board, and let's go ahead and move to approve item number 85.
Thank you very much. There's a motion. I did close public comment. Number 85, please vote and please post. That motion carries. And number 86?
I move to approve item number 86.
Thank you very much. There's a motion to approve agenda item 86. Please vote and please post. Motion carries.
All right,
Very
thank you. If you could let the
well
previous mayor know that we got him, if he was here, he would still get to see the game.
done. Thank you. Okay, and now agenda items 87 and 88 and 89 are obeyed to the 4th of September, and number 90 to the 18th of September. So that takes us to set the dates, which I'd instruct city clerk to set the public hearing dates and appeals from the City Planning Commission meeting, dangerous buildings or nuisance litter abatements.
Will do, thank you.
Thank you very much. You just stayed right through all of this. You caught planning. Go. Okay, citizen participation. Our second public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matter within the jurisdiction City Council. No subject may be acted upon by the City Council unless the subject's on the agenda and scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come to the podium, please, and give your name for the record, the amount of discussion, any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. It's your opportunity to address the council, but the council will not respond or engage in dialogue. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak under this portion of the agenda? Seeing and hearing no one, we will move on to number 3, council member recognition. Comments made by individual city council members during this portion of the agenda will not be acted upon by the city council unless subjects on the agenda, and there's always comments. So I'm going to start this time from my left. Councilwoman, please. Seaman, you go first.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's not a lot going on the dais for Ward 2, but there's certainly a lot going on in the ward. So we have a dive-in movie night, Friday, August 9th. You don't want to miss that. And then we also have a junior lifeguard camp, which is always a lot of fun. And the next one looks like it's happening August 5th through 9th. Some great upcoming events that you can meet your councilwoman and break bread together is Saturday, August 17th from 9 to 10:30 at Rachel's Kitchen. And on that same evening is our Dash Splash over at the Veterans Memorial at 7:30 p.m. I've been to those, and that's a lot of fun. One of the things that we're doing in Ward 2 is Small Business Sunday, so I encourage you to contact my office or our social media so we can come out and feature your business and post it on one of our business Sundays. Just want to remind people that they don't have to leave Ward 2 to give us their concerns, they can go to our satellite office at the Veterans Memorial Center Thursday mornings from 8 to 11. And I think that's, everything else? Oh, want to do some community recognitions that we did. Fourth Annual All-Star Camp Challenge in Ward 2 on July 24th. And then we recognized Southern Hills Baptist Church on their 15th anniversary. And the very special one was the 100th birthday of Oscar Henry Pendleton Sr. on August 7th. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
I thought you were going to say Oscar Goodman. Thank you. Okay, Councilman Anthony.
Thank you, Mayor. So we can get the flyer up there. There you go. It's hard to believe, but it's back to school. Good for parents, bad for kids. We're going to get you back to school with our annual pool party. It's going to be held at the Durango Hills Y at Durango and Gowan. We're going to have free swimming, a DJ, some vendors. We're going to have some raffle prizes. We're going to hand out school supplies. That's what we're going to do first, school supplies. Make sure the kids are getting ready for school, and then we're going to have a big pool party. So come on out Friday, August 9th from 5 to 8 p.m. Durango Hills. Get some free school supplies and have a final swim at the Durango Hills Y. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mayor Pro Tem, you're going to get a little juiced up position here.
Thank you. I'm excited about that. So today is our National Purple Heart Day. And for those of you that don't know, August 7th is Purple Heart Day. Purple Heart Day is observed on August 7th each year, and it is a time for all Americans to remember and honor the brave men and women who were either wounded on the battlefield or paid the ultimate sacrifice with their lives. Many do not know that our state of Nevada is a Purple Heart state, and during the past legislative session, Interstate 11 was designed a Purple Heart highway. Although we do not have an exact number, according to those registered to the Military Order of the Purple Heart, there is an estimated 2,000 Purple Heart recipients living throughout Nevada and 219 Purple Heart recipients living in our wonderful city of Las Vegas. And in reality, many more recipients whom have not registered with the order. So today, please join us in remembering our wounded and fallen heroes and give a special thanks to the soldiers, veterans, and our country's Purple Heart recipients. And I have to give it to our mayor, Madam Mayor. She is working diligently on getting a Purple Heart for one of our D-Day veterans who's 96-year-old Italian man, sharp as a tack. And so thank you so much, Mayor. She's directly working with DC to make sure he gets his Purple Heart. Yep. So let's talk about some good news and some news that we have to work on. We found our Nikki Marie. She was 15, and thank you, Nevada Child Seekers and Las Vegas Metro Police. And so Nikki is found. We also found Isabella. She's another 15-year-old beautiful female. And thank you again, Nevada Child Seekers and Las Vegas Metro Police, for finding Isabella. Now we have to find Sophia Bermudez. She's 17. She's a female, brown hair, brown eyes. She's about 5'5" and about 118 pounds. So please, if anyone has seen Sophia, please contact Nevada Child Seekers at 702-548-7009 or Las Vegas Metro Police at 702-828-3111. We are also missing Margina Peed. She's a 16-year-old female. She's 5'8". She's 150 pounds. She's got brown hair, brown roots, and like honey blonde tips. She's African American. So please, if you see Margina, please call Metro at 702-828-3111 or Nevada Child Seekers at 702-458-7009. Thank you, guys. Have a great week.
Thank you very much. And Councilman Knutson, our channel for the day.
Thank you very much, Mayor. So I wanted to, first and foremost, I say thank you to an intern that's been working with me for the last month here at the City of Las Vegas, Ben Futrell. He will be starting school next week, and so I want to thank him. Also, this Saturday, I will be attending and issuing a proclamation for the 10-year anniversary of the Buddhist temple that's right there on Charleston. So very exciting. It's been a great addition to the neighborhood and the community. And then I also want to just put it out there that in the next couple of weeks, we're gaining support in tracking down all the neighborhood associations in Ward 1, and we'll be asking all of the neighborhood association leaders to come in for a breakfast so we can chat about what communication look like, what events look like, and how we can better work together to bring about a greater and better Ward 1. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. And Councilwoman Diaz.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm looking forward to meeting the neighbors of the Beverly Green Neighborhood Association, and they're holding their meeting tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. at the Reformation Lutheran Church off of 580 East St. Louis. So if you live in that neighborhood, I look forward to meeting and greeting all of you there. And as many have stated, our kiddos do go back to school on Monday, August 12th. So let's be cognizant that due to maybe some construction projects, we're going to have to take a few more minutes to get to and from our homes to our schools. I know that on Eastern, between Bonanza and Washington, there's significant improvements underway, and we need to make sure that we look and we design an alternate route, because I know that Eastern will not be able to provide all the access to the schools off of Harris, so take note of that. And also on the back to school theme, the Southern Nevada Health District is offering a back to school vaccination health fair this Saturday, August 10th at the Southern Nevada Health District. So go online, check us out on social media. We've posted all the location information there. And for parents who are having issues finding someone who can watch their children after school, SafeKey registration is open. So that is a very cost-effective solution. And also you get amazing help with the kids doing things, productive things with their time after school in terms of homework and crafts when we can't get to them right after they get off of school. So make sure you check out the registration links as well.
Okay, and as usual, I want to thank technology, who always rip apart as best I can when you take time to fix and update, and we can do it right away. But I thank you all, and thank you in the back there behind the mirror, technology, always our marshals and fire and rescue, always our staff who work long hours, never given special time off by our city manager, for all the extra time and energy you put in. And thank you very much. And for our guests that sit and watch this, I have no idea the Stamina office staff, of course, thinking that you're making brownie points. I'm not sure. So anyway, my announcements, of course, echo that we have school starting Monday. Be careful, don't speed in there, and watch the little people. And Life is Beautiful. Tickets online, I think, if they're still available, but it's from Friday, September 20th through Monday, September 23rd, and that's in advance because you should be buying tickets or you're going to be out of luck. Next City Council meeting, August 21st, and at 9 in the morning. We'll look forward to it, and for those of you who are enjoying the heat rather than the snow up in the Carson-Reno area for legislature, it is good to live down here. And thank you to our council. Our new council members are doing great. Just so proud. And our legal staff, you also are such good reminders. Our city clerk, who's on top of our legal, and then our planning, who's on top of somebody else. Thank you all, and this meeting is adjourned.